It began with an email for chilling words that would echo through one Colorado family's nightmare. You will pay. Those words weren't from a stranger or an enemy. They came from 18-year-old Isabella Guzman, a young woman whose beauty and eerie calm would one day turn her into a viral sensation. But long before TikTok made her infamous, she was a troubled teen spiraling toward an unthinkable act. This is the true story behind one of the most shocking crimes in modern American history, a daughter's savage murder of her own mother, and the haunting question that still lingers: was Isabella truly evil or desperately ill? Aurora, Colorado, August 2013. To outsiders, the Guzman Hoy family looked ordinary. Yunmi Hoy, a hard-working immigrant from South Korea, had built a quiet life in America. She'd remarried a kind man named Ryan Hoy, and together they tried to raise her daughter Isabella with love and structure. But inside their home, the walls were closing in. Isabella had grown distant, defiant, and frighteningly unpredictable. Friends described her as withdrawn. Teachers remembered her as bright, but cold. And her mother, her biggest supporter, had become her biggest target. Yumi thought it was teenage rebellion. In reality, something much darker was unfolding in her daughter's mind. By late August, tensions were explosive. Isabella refused to eat dinner with the family. She slammed doors, shouted insults, and once spat in her mother's face. But nothing prepared Yunmi for what came next. On August 27th, Isabella sent her mother an email containing just 4 words: "You will pay." It wasn't a threat yelled in anger. It was a promise, typed calmly, like a message from someone detached from reality. Ryan begged Yunmi to call the police, but she brushed it off, saying, "She's just angry. It will pass." By the next night, she would be gone. August 28th, 2013. It was a warm, quiet evening. Yunmi had finished work, made dinner, and was preparing for bed. Ryan watched TV downstairs. Upstairs, Isabella waited. She had taken one of the family's kitchen knives, a simple, familiar object, and turned it into a weapon. At 9:30 p.m., Yunmi went into the bathroom to shower. Steam filled the room. The sound of running water drowned out the footsteps behind her. Then silence shattered into chaos. Ryan heard thudding noises. Then his wife screaming his name. He ran upstairs. The door was locked. He kicked it once, twice. On the third hit, it gave way. Inside, the scene was beyond comprehension. Isabella stood over her mother's lifeless body, covered in blood. She had stabbed her 79 times, 31 in the face, 48 in the neck. Each wound a reflection of unimaginable rage and delusion. When Ryan froze, she looked at him and walked past him. Calmly, silently, still holding the knife. She stepped out of the house into the night, leaving behind a scene so horrifying it would haunt first responders for years. Isabella didn't get far. Within hours, police found her hiding near a relative's home, her clothes stained with her mother's blood. When officers questioned her, she showed no fear, no guilt, no sadness, just a chilling blankness. Detectives quickly learned the truth. This was not a crime of passion. It was premeditated and disturbingly methodical. But something didn't add up. Why did she seem so calm? Why didn't she try to hide the weapon or flee further? And why did she seem detached from reality? as if the world she inhabited was different from everyone else's. In the days that followed, Isabella underwent a battery of psychological tests. The diagnosis shocked everyone. She was suffering from schizophrenia, a severe mental disorder marked by hallucinations, paranoia, and a fractured sense of reality. Doctors testified that Isabella genuinely believed her mother was possessed by evil, that killing her was the only way to save herself. In her mind, it wasn't murder, it was deliverance. This revelation tore the community apart. Some saw a dangerous killer who deserved prison for life. Others saw a broken young woman failed by a system that ignored her cries for help. Years later, Isabella's case resurfaced, not in the courts, but on TikTok. Clips of her courtroom appearances, her eerie stare, her smirk, her emotionless eyes, spread like wildfire. Millions of users turned her into a meme. They called her the beautiful killer, the smiling psycho, even TikTok's most chilling girl. But few knew what those expressions really meant. They weren't arrogance or amusement. They were symptoms of schizophrenia, a mind lost between delusion and reality. Behind every viral clip was a real tragedy. A mother who wanted nothing more than to save her daughter, and a daughter trapped in the chaos of her own mind. After a lengthy evaluation and trial, Isabella Guzman was found not guilty by reason of insanity. Instead of prison, she was committed indefinitely to the Colorado Mental Health Institute in Pueblo, where she remains to this day, over a decade later. There's no set date for her release. Doctors say she's made progress, but the scars of her crime and the memory of her mother linger like a shadow she can never escape.